Hi, everybody. It's Friday night, so it must be PoliTarology. Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming. I'm here with my friends, and we're going to play PoliTarology. I'm going to let everybody go around the circle and tell you what's going on with their channel. And if, in case you don't know, I don't know why you would be tuning in if you didn't know who I was, but I'm calling Pearl the Cool Crone. And I'm here with a bunch of my friends. So, Sherry, why don't you kick it off for us and tell us what's happening down there in the swamp?
Oh, well, we're going to get into that in just a little bit. Dealing with our lovely new governor that, yeah, we'll deal with that when we come to it. But
Okay.
other than that, the weather's finally warming back up to the upper 60s, lower 70s. We've got massive rainstorms that are supposed to hit tomorrow, along with the first of the Mardi Gras parades that start tomorrow. Mardi Gras is not one day for us down here. It's like a whole month almost. They
Mm-hmm.
started all this stuff a couple of weeks back, and then this week going into it is Mardi Gras week, and a week from Tuesday is Mardi Gras Day. So it'll be nothing but balls and parades and all kinds of stuff between now and next Tuesday. So we'll
Sounds
be
like,
able to get anywhere in town because half the roads are closed.
yeah, yeah. A lot of music, right?
A lot of music, a lot of food, a lot of drunks. So
Oh,
yeah,
goody. Sounds like my kind of
great
time.
combination for down here.
Yeah, right. Really great. All right. Well, Val, hi. Nice to see
Hi,
you. Why
good
don't
to
you
see
tell
you
us,
all.
yeah, let us know what's going on your channel.
I have just started channeling again, and so if you can catch that every day at 2 p.m. Pacific time or 5 Eastern, and it's also on not only Dragonfly Crystals, but Next Level Channeling. So it'll be something wonderful from one of the Ascended Masters, angels, or guides. And also tomorrow will be our giveaway for a free Akashic record reading. Catch that on Next Level Channeling. Thank you.
Awesome. That's great. And congratulations again, making
Thank
your
you.
milestone. That's wonderful. And
You.
Cleo, my sister, how are you? Please tell us.
I'm good. So good to see everybody.
Yeah.
Well, only thing I got going on is PoliTarology today, and then on Monday I've got Caffeinated and Unfiltered with Val and Gerald and Allison. And then on Thursday we got Golden Girls, and that's a political thing, and that's Val's in on that one too. And then next Friday we have another PoliTarology. So that covers a week.
Mhm. But I'm crying because you forgot to mention that I'm gonna be on caffeinated and unfiltered too.
Oh, are you? Are you?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't have that written down.
We did not have that info.
On Monday, Caffeinated and Unfiltered, Colleen is going to be there as well.
Yes. Yes, I'm going to be there. Okay, yay. Thank you. Okay, great. Okay, good. All right. And I know you have a million things going on. My sister, everybody, is on more shows than I am. I mean, it's crazy. She's just on all the time. So you can always see Cleo this year on her channel, but also all over the place. And Mel, our special guest, thank you so much for coming.
I love doing this. Thank you. It's my pleasure. It's my honor. I love it.
So what's going on for you? Go ahead. Shameless plug. Do your infomercial. Go nuts.
Well, I've got some openings for Africa. So I've got like 2 openings left. So if you want to go, give me a call ASAP. It's going to be a great, great trip. 847-590-5411. I'm streaming live tonight to my channel. So everybody watching, thanks for watching. Everybody subscribe to PoliTarology. Hit that subscribe button. Let's see. What do I have going here? Monday with Linda Grindle and Mel. Tuesday, Arthur the Psychic. Wednesday, Kim Copeland. Thursday, Kevin Chandler. I'm going to do a paranormal show with Deanne. And let's see what else. I'm going to start some morning shows. solo called Morning Moments with Mel. And I'll just make brief videos, like maybe 20, 30 minutes about, world events, things going on here and abroad and all over. And so, and then going to work every day. So,
Oh my
Wow.
gosh. That's crazy. That's crazy. You're way busier than I am. All right, so that's everybody, and you know me, Colleen Pearl, Cool Crone. We had our second Reveal the Future show, and last weekend, and I thought it went pretty well. And we're gonna be switching that show. I think next time we do the show is still going to be on Sundays in February. So February 11th and the 25th, those shows will be on Sundays, and then we're going to switch for March. We're going to do them on Wednesday evenings instead of Sunday evenings. Let's see what else going on for us. I'm on Caffeinated and Unfiltered on Monday. Oh, I'm going to be on Sunday. I'm going to have Andre Carr on my channel again, and we're going to talk about, political stuff with astrology. On Friday, well, on Thursday, I'm having fiber optic installed in case anybody cares. And on Friday, I'm having, who else? Who's all going to be on PoliTarology? Marina's going to be there. Sherry will be there. Celtic Tarot Sheila will be there, and David from Tarot by the Bay will be there. And let's see, we have Imbulk, and what else do we have here? Oh, that's enough. That's enough stuff. No, we can save it for the next week. Okay, so
Colleen, I
Mhm.
also wanted to mention I'm streaming on my channel as well. I don't know if everybody streaming today.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Oh, okay. So if you want to just hop over to my channel, I'd certainly appreciate that.
I've got all our channels already up on the other computer, so it's clocking time.
Excellent.
Wow.
Great. And I do believe that in the description for this broadcast, I put everybody's URL for their channel in the description, so that's already there. But if you can't see it, then by all means, just put in our names in YouTube land, and it'll take you there to our channels. That's great. And yeah, I am trying to get to 5,000 subscribers, and so I would be very grateful if we could get some people to subscribe. And is that Lily or Lucky?
It was Lily.
It was Lily. Okay.
And I'm pushing for 2,000.
You're going to get your 5,000 subscribers very soon. So everybody, please subscribe.
Well, yeah, because Lily just agreed that they should. She's barking to support me. Thank you, Lily. I appreciate that.
I'm like 300 away, I think, from hitting 2,000. So that's
Wow. Oh, wow.
Wow.
I was thinking to myself, every once in a while, I get very competitive, and I'm like, well, why did they get more than me? Why did they get this? And they got this person on their channel, and and I stop myself. I let myself go on for a while. Honestly, I'm pretty bad. I'm pretty judgmental. But anyway, after a bit, I pull myself back and I say, "What, Colleen? What is going on? Why are you you're supposed to be this spiritual, love it, everybody? You're supposed to be very lovey-dovey. So what's going on?" And I said, "Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I feel like I'm not doing enough. Like there's more that I could do to try to make the channel interesting and bring people there." And you know what came into my brain as kind of like my little lesson to deal with this week is what is it? The incoming tide raises all boats.
Oh, I love that.
Oh man, that's nice.
Right. So I was
That's a
just
good one.
like, you know what? Yeah, Cole, just stop worrying about all that shit. Just do your thing. It's gonna be fine. But I have to remind myself of those things. I'm very, very human and very connected to this rock that we float around on called Earth. And it's a challenge sometimes to maintain that very loving vibe in everyday life. But I'm working on it. Work in progress. All right.
Yeah,
So
I try to not look at the numbers anymore because it just makes me crazy.
yeah.
You go up and down and up and down and up and down. You'll gain 5, drop 3, gain
Yeah.
5, drop 3. It's like, y'all making me crazy. I don't want to know.
Well, I've decided that, we're on this planet. It's a dualistic planet. This is part of our lessons. And that's the challenge, is to kind of try to ignore that stuff and maintain a more Zen feeling about everything. So So the first thing that we're going to talk about is actually a question that Mel brought up. I had the headline about Fani Willis's press conference that she did, and she said in her court filing, I love this, that the salacious allegations about an affair between her and Wade do not reach the legal grounds required for her to be disqualified from the Georgia election interference case. So she's just like, done and dusted, folks. It just doesn't meet the criteria. And I'm like, you go, girl. Yeah, you're right. That's really true. So, Mel, now you had something you wanted to ask about that.
Well, what I wanted to ask was, do people see her off that case? I don't. I, I read the article, but she came up with a very good idea that Trump's team doesn't really have anything substantial to go on, and the claims they're making are unjustified, even if she's dating the guy. But she's not in it for any personal financial motivation in handling this case. So, I mean, she can date whoever she wants.
Right.
So I don't really see that as a criteria to get her off the case. So I intuit, my guides tell me she will stay on the case.
So my pendulum agrees with you, and I we're probably pretty much in agreement on that. Maybe what we should read about is, what are they going to do, more shenanigans against her to try to get her off the case?
They will keep trying anything they can possibly try, and really, what it boils down to, it's a delay tactic, just like the whole thing with Judge Chutkan.
Yeah.
It's Trump does delay tactics, and what he's trying to do with his legal team is score political points. Obviously, it doesn't take a psychic to figure that one out. But intuitively, what he's trying to do is get these things postponed until after the election, because if he thinks he wins, he pardons himself. But I don't see that playing out either.
No, I don't either. Does anybody else want to put in their 2 cents worth on
I
this?
pulled a couple of cards
Yeah.
on it. The first thing I pulled was the Eight of
sorry.
Wands, which is, fast changes, things happening, followed by the Lovers. So I don't think that her affair is going to have any effect, because evidently the guy that this is all about was already was like her third or fourth choice to come on to the team, because the ones she wanted to get were locked in somewhere else. Followed by the Knave of Swords, which just talks about fast speed. She's pushing right through it, like, yeah, no, done. Just be done with it. Just what y'all were saying.
Okay.
Val.
Val.
Yeah, I just heard from my guides. They said no, she's not going to be removed, and I saw home. And as far as shenanigans that they could pull, I see, yes, a lot of manipulation going on with facts, but it's a big leap. They're not going to be able to do it. They're going to end up in the hot springs from doing their shenanigans.
Yeah.
They're trying to attract attention or detract attention away from other things as well by all this story surrounding Fani. It's not going to work, obviously, but
Yeah.
Look at that.
yeah.
About Trump, not Fani, about some of the things they're trying to do.
Yeah.
Connie B was correcting me to say it's not an affair, it was a relationship. I know that, but that's what the other side was calling it, was an affair. So
I like that, Sherry. Thank you.
And isn't it ongoing? Isn't it still going on?
Yeah, they're in a relationship.
Yeah, they're in a relationship.
And the thing that they brought up about his divorce was very long ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He was divorcing her because his wife, was having an affair. They went through the whole thing, and it has to be Orange Mango's team approaching her and saying, hey, honey, we'll pay you a bunch of big bucks. Why don't you go make some noise for us? But here's the other thing I want to know that we had discussed previously, but now in light of this press conference, Cleo, did you go? I'm sorry.
Well, I just agree with what everybody else has said. And you're going to see all of these hearings are going to be delayed. and this is definitely what Trump's been working towards, and they will dig up dirt on everybody and anybody. But right now it's being delayed because everybody's waiting to hear what the court says about his immunity. And he thinks that he's going to get that. He is not going to get that. But okay, that's my 2 cents.
Good
Okay.
2 cents. Yay.
Yeah, I think that's more like 50 cents. That was
I
pretty
think
good.
that's more like $100 worth.
Yeah,
right
there we go. Yeah. So now the other thing we had talked about on other shows is will Wade pull back from this investigation?
I see a different lead prosecutor coming on, but he might do it. I don't think to save face, but you're right. She's got the right to have a relationship with whomever she wants, and I agree that his ex-wife, they were divorced a long time ago. I saw the same thing, that she got some money from the orange one to come forward with that stuff. And they're going to try to character assassinate a lot of people. And some might bow out because of fear, but it's not going to work. It's not going to work.
Okay.
And I pulled the moon, so I see a lot more coming up about how Trump tried to manipulate these trials.
Now, the other judge, though, was worried about witness tampering or jury tampering.
Well, he'll try that. Trump's team will try that. And
but what is this? He's tampering with the actual prosecutor.
Absolutely.
He's tampering with anybody and anybody.
I know, but what is the law? Is there a law that protects him and prevents him from doing that? Could they charge him with that also?
Well, as soon as they find out that the orange one paid money to the ex-wife, they're going to have a reason for tampering with a case, period, and a subject. And I saw the key, that Wade is holding the key to everything. And so it is his ex-wife that is the key. The next was the jail cell. So this will be found out.
Yeah.
My psychic light bulb just went on. And I think at some point she's going to come forward and say that she got Wade's ex-wife to say she got influence or some payola from the team.
I actually had thought that before too. When it first came out, I was like, I bet that woman is taking the money, but I bet she's not that thrilled about being used.
I was just thinking the wife's going to come forward. And then Mel said what he said. It was like, yeah, that ding, ding, ding.
I got the chills on that, Mel. So,
yeah. Now, but how soon would that be? Is that going to be in time to really, mess him up? Or is he going to be long gone from this earthly coil? Or, how long is it going to take for this?
I intuit it's going to be a lot sooner than later. And I see somebody pressuring her to come forward because they're going to say, we're going to be investigating you. So,
nothing like having the FBI knock on your door and say, ma'am,
well,
we have some evidence against you.
Nothing like having an ex-husband who's an investigator.
Yeah.
Hello.
Well, and these are just more things to delay. I mean, I don't really like it that she might come up and say that she got paid by Trump. I mean, it might look bad, but in the long run, Trump doesn't care. Whatever it takes to delay all these things, and that would be another delay.
Oh, no. I do not think that this will be working in Trump's favor, and I do not think he will like the delay. I think he will not know about this investigation.
That's right.
Oh, okay.
I think this will be going on behind the curtain.
It'll be on the down low.
Yeah, on the way down low. And I think Mr. Wade and the ex-Mrs. Wade will be only too happy to cooperate in the whole thing.
Oh,
that's what I get. What about you guys? Yeah. Yeah.
I love that.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think we've got covered Fani. Okay. So Sherry, let's bring out one of your questions.
All right. Which one you want to start with? The hangings or the
Yeah. Let's start with the hangings. Yeah.
Okay, for those of you that are not from my neck of the woods, you're so lucky. We have a new governor, Mr. Landry, who gave a statement, made a declaration in the local newspaper. It's in the Baton Rouge newspaper, which is the state capital. And what he stated today was that the state of Louisiana has an obligation to resume death penalty executions. He said, and this is in quotes, hangings, firing squads, and electrocutions should be used if lethal injection isn't available. Because you know how there's been some states that still had the death sentence that they were having trouble getting the drugs to make up the lethal injection.
Right.
And so people were getting commuted from that, and just life in prison.
Right.
Um,
So he's just being a Boy Scout, being prepared.
and he's saying, yeah, no, if that's not available, well, we got trees, we can hang them. We got good, strong oak trees down here. You can hang a damn freaking dinosaur from them and it's not going to crack them. There's firing squads in every other house down here. They got somebody with a gun in it. So the firing squad won't be hard to round up. And electrocution, well, we are at sea level. So dig cinches, you hit water, give them a live wire to hold, and it's a done deal.
I watched Ozark, I know.
But it's funny. I got that what he's doing is like a gift, because it's really going to end up, he's going to make his bed and it's not going to be comfortable to lie in. And, he's doing it for some reason. It's about money and whatever that is. But the next thing I got is a jail cell. Really, to me, it means we are not going to believe it, but this is going to turn people off. I don't know when he's going to be reelected.
He just got elected for the first time.
Got elected for the first time. Ago. He's not going to be reelected. In fact, he might do some kind of recall.
He was our state attorney general for the last 4 or 5 years. He was our AG. When Trump lost in 2020 and started the Stop the Steal nonsense, he was one of the first state AGs to jump on board, sign on up, and say, oh, yeah, we got to do this. He's already come out publicly on air and said he was a strong supporter of President Trump and that he should be put back in office. Not elected, but put back in office is how he phrased it.
So he's a maggot or a maggoteer.
Times a million. And word of the wise to those who live in other states that may be purple or a little red. This is what happens when you don't show up to vote.
Yes, absolutely.
Someone like Landry as your new governor who's busting his ass to see how fast, pardon my language, he can undo all the work that the previous governor from the last 8 years has gotten accomplished for our state. He's running behind him trying to undo things as quick as he can.
Oh boy. Well, I threw a few cards and I get that this is a legacy that is going to follow this guy to the grave. I mean, it's like a stink that he won't be able to lose. And when people start waking up from maggot idiocy, he's really going to, if he's got a brain cell still functioning, he'll be embarrassed, but he might not have that left anymore. So let's just say his life review is not going to be pleasant.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm done.
I agree. And this agrees with you. Not only is he giving us a gift, but here's the universe. That's like the end of the line. So what can I say?
Well, you're not going to believe this, but I pulled the Hanged Man.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent. Yes.
So hanging, firing squads, electrocution. At some point, that would probably go to the Supreme Court, maybe not this SCOTUS, but when I see new justices, because I see the Hierophant, which would, in my opinion, would be more like legalities, legal challenges. And it looks like at some point the people in Louisiana and the people are going to be turning their back on him. And I don't even see this governor serving out his full term. I don't know what happens, but I don't see it.
To answer to that, Mel, about him serving out his full term, we also have to remember he was, it's rumored, supposedly, he had a very big hand in the insurrection. How he was involved, I don't know, but there's talk. So I'm waiting for indictments of the no-named co-conspirators to start happening, and I'm wondering myself, does that mean our new governor is going to be trying to govern from behind bars?
He'll be in deep doo-doo. But
yeah,
I see with the new court, them taking it to court, and I see at some point Supreme Court once again saying that the death penalty is cruel and unusual. Like now they tried to use nitrogen gas and it was horrible.
Yeah.
It was in Virginia somewhere. I think some of these governors would like to take us back 70 years ago. And here again, my favorite saying, it might look like they win a few battles, but they won't win the war.
Yeah.
So I see the Supreme Court at some point banning the death penalty in this country.
Yeah.
It's court, but in the not so distant future, Illinois, it's illegal. The death penalty here is illegal.
Yeah.
And that was a Republican governor that actually started the moratorium on the death penalty here in Illinois.
Yeah.
So,
from your lips to God's ear, I really wish it would be the law of the land.
but Governor Laundrie, I don't. Oh, he's gonna
Laundry. I like that.
Laundrie.
Is yeah, he needs his mouth washed. That's for sure.
He's
He's a long-held, established name in this state. The Landry family have been here from practically the beginning. Money, and more money in the coffers. These are farmers and whatnot, people that own a lot of land, have a lot of fingers and a lot of pies. And
that's what I'm going to call him, Governor Laundrie, because he's got some dirty washes.
I like that.
Well, and it sounds like it's time for the Laundrie family to find a new country. Okay, so Cleo, did you have something to add?
I did not.
Okay. All right. So now Mel brought up, winning the battle, but not the war. So let's move over to Texas and let's talk about Mr. Abbott and all those National Guard's troops that he's asking for. And I just think I got to say, I think it's really surprising. They had all those, not all those, but they had a few news articles, and I had to dig for this to really verify, did 25 governors actually write back to him? He writes a letter, in case you don't know, audience. He wrote a letter to all the governors and asked for their help in defending their border, saying it was their state's right and their state's responsibility, or their responsibility to the state, to defend their border from invasion. And they claim that the immigrants coming across the border are invaders. So he writes to all the governors, and 25 of our 50 governors said yes. 25.
Ours was one of them.
So that's 25.
Ours was one of them.
That's 25 potential National Guard, the whole troops available from those 25 states, possibly converging on the southern border. This is starting to feel to me like no bueno, like not good. This is, the Supreme Court said, cut up that razor wire, stop that nonsense. You can't do that. And this is what sparked the letter to all the governors. All those governors said yes. And it's really hard now in the news to find out just how many states have sent their troops. By my last count last week, there was about 6 states who had actually sent their troops. Now, troops, what is that? I mean, is that thousands? Is that hundreds? It's hard to know. They may not have sent all of them. They may need
It's
them.
it's
Go ahead.
teachers and store managers and people like that
No, I
that are
know
in the
that. I
National
know
Guard.
that, but they're trained. They are trained.
Yeah, they're trained, but
So,
they're
so even if Biden decides, like a la John F. Kennedy, sending in the National Guard to defend the desegregation of schools in the South, even if that happens, what does Biden have left to federalize? 25 states are already pledging their National Guard somewhere else.
Well,
So,
but there's still 25 states left that he could
yeah,
nationalize, and
yes,
that's
yeah,
exactly what he's going to do.
yeah. So, are we going to come to a? I don't feel that there's going to be actual like guns shot or cannons or something like that. But are we going to come to a point where we have National Guard across the street from National Guard going, "Uh-oh, I got to stop you from going here"? Is it going to come to that? What do we think? Let's
and
read all.
how many of those National Guard that's backing Abbott and his nonsense are going to wait till it gets dark enough to slip over to the other side, say, hey, I'm not doing that, I'm over here.
Well,
So
let's see. Let's just see what people come up with.
Well, I'm not a lawyer, but the president can federalize the National Guard. So if those governors from those states sends National Guard to give the middle finger to SCOTUS and keeping that razor wire up, then those National Guards people that follow those orders could be in trouble, and so can those governors. I think if it gets that far, Biden will nationalize the National Guard, and then that means he's the commander in chief, not the governors. That's number one.
Mhm.
Number two, what is invasion? I think what it means is invasion like in war from a
Yeah,
foreign enemy. It's
it
not
does.
talking about immigrants coming across the border.
Nope.
So the court would say that's not invasion. That poses no military threat. So I, the way I saw it, that letter was what Abbott was trying to do to get the director of Homeland Security, or was it Mayorkas?
Mayorkas.
Yeah, to get him impeached, and that's not going to work. And he was going to try
Oh,
to get Biden impeached because they didn't protect our borders. Well, that's not a crime because there was no military invasion.
right.
So I do think it's going to be a powder keg down there.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, if these governors try something with the National Guard, then Biden can federalize it and bring in military, and he will if he has to.
Yeah, he will. He
Because he will not stand by and let Abbott give the middle finger to SCOTUS and say, I'm not taking down the razor wire. Biden already sent people down there to have it taken down, and Abbott refused to show them where it was or take them there. So I see the tower for Governor Abbott.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to take
lot of
Abbott
fear.
out of his governorship, but I do think that it is going to be a really, really tense situation.
It's going to be tense.
And I worry about the actual National Guard personnel. How are they supposed to know what to do? They came down there for Governor Abbott to help him. And I'm sorry, my cat's just being.
I kind of had a vision of them going, oh, they want us to, they in their hearts don't want to have to create havoc down there, even though they're sent down there. It's like they're human beings.
Yes.
Being there hits their heart, and they don't really want to follow any of those orders. So a lot of them.
But if Biden nationalizes,
I believe he would.
federalizes the National Guard, then those guards people take orders from Biden, not the governors, because they've been.
Yeah, exactly, Mel. And I feel like this is what's going to happen with Abbott.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
the whole thing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, no, I
Lauren.
was jumping
Yeah,
in on you because I was
yeah,
agreeing with you. I,
yeah,
I have the 10 of cups, the ace of cups, and the king of cups. So Joe Biden, king of cups.
yes,
Is
yes.
this I do feel though that this is going to be a big moment for Biden. I
Mhm.
think this is going to be like the heavenly light shining down on his little white-haired head. And I think even some of those National Guards people are going that went for Abbott. I
Yeah,
think some of them, they're going to have a come to Jesus moment. It's going to be a come to Joe Biden moment, where they're going to feel like, yeah, that's our president. He knows what to do because they do feel it's wrong in their hearts. And they don't want to fight their brothers from another state. They don't want that. And
Yeah.
so it's all going to feel, I feel, very hinky to them being down there. That's a technical term, by the way, hinky. They're all going to feel very funny about doing that. And when Biden will physically show up,
yeah.
and
Oh, yeah.
we will see that moment. I mean, I don't know if anybody will videotape it, but it will happen with,
Just like when he showed up at the union
yes, yeah,
thing.
yeah, they'll be
First
cameras.
president to ever show up during the middle of a strike and stand on the line with them.
And if you look carefully on that video, you'll see he sprouted wings. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
But this is just where Trump and the Republicans don't want this to happen because they want to stay, and they're fighting it tooth and nail. So again, Biden's got so many things working against him, but he is the president and he will do the right thing. And I do see him showing up down there
Mhm.
and correcting this problem. And all the Republicans they're just going to be up in arms and they're not going to do a thing to help him. Nothing.
Can I say
And
one?
yes, Clarence, the Teamsters have already endorsed Biden.
Yeah. Can I
Yeah.
say one more thing though? That video of him sprouting wings on the Texas border, that's going to be in every political ad from this point on.
Yeah.
And it's that border thing that they all wanted to create. It's going to backfire so bad on them. It's going to catapult Biden into the top of the polls. And I think it's going to help Mayorkas.
And guess what, you all?
Yeah.
Biden ain't going to be holding the Bible upside down.
Right. Right.
Um,
No, I don't. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. You know what I intuit is also some of these governors like Abbott. What they want to do is secede without saying they have seceded. And I think, when he said these 25 governors, well, do we know if it was 25? But it really reeks of civil war if you
Yes.
think about it.
Mhm.
Yes.
And they want, I think the MAGAs, there's some moderate Republicans that don't, that they want to do things according to what the court says and this and that. It's the MAGAs that are behind this, Trump and the MAGAs.
Mhm.
And they want chaos. They want anarchy. They want all this going on. That's how dictators come to power.
Mhm.
But they're not going to win. It's not, they're not going to win.
No, I agree with you. Those maggots just have such 5-year-old energy. Like they're just a bunch of friggin' toddlers. And their reactions to things are just so unmeasured and so just not mature, so immature. All Biden has to do is stand up and be an adult, and everybody kind of goes, "Oh, that was great."
I think what Abbott and some of them want to do as well is create a constitutional crisis. But we'll, when Trump was president, I do think we had a constitutional crisis.
Mhm.
I don't know if we'll have a full blown constitutional crisis, but very close.
Mhm.
And if anybody could create that, it would be Abbott. He's a lawyer. He's a former judge. I don't know if he was a former federal judge or state judge. So, and he's also, he's known as a constitutionalist. He has studied the Constitution upside down, backwards, and forwards. So he really knows the Constitution. It's crazy town that he's interpreting things the way he is. He knows that's wrong. He knows that's not an invasion. He
He
knows.
better reread it,
Yeah, yeah.
Well, and my little psychic light bulb just went off because what I'm seeing is this is backfiring already as it comes out in the press, as more and more stories come out, the fact that Biden and the Democrats offered billions of dollars to be brought down there to update everything and make it more efficient, be able to, people that truly need to come in for asylum can, and others can get turned around and sent back. I think, just what I'm feeling is that it's in the beginning, it's going to look like Abbott and them are winning the war, but in the end, it's going to come back to truly fight them in the behind. I just really feel like a lot of people are at the point where they're like, I don't want to see another civil war happen in this country, and enough's enough of this. It's like a room full of toddlers who are told, no, you can't have an extra popsicle. So they're all pitching fits and they're tearing the room up and breaking all the toys because they can't have their extra popsicle that they want.
Those toddlers.
They're 5-year-olds. They're just toddlers.
Yeah, toddlers.
Yeah. So here's another person who doesn't quite interpret the Constitution the right way. Nikki Haley on a morning radio show said that, about Greg Abbott and the Texas border situation. She said, if that whole state says we don't want to be a part of America anymore, that's their decision to make.
No.
And she's running for president.
And it's illegal to secede from the nation. They made that law.
Was illegal.
They made that law after the Civil War.
And hopefully there's so much attention on Abbott and then the orange one that, this can get lost under the rug for poor Ms. Haley. That's really a stupid thing to say. Really dumb. There's no question there. I just wanted to bring that up, that it was really.
It's like, I can see Alaska from here. I'm sorry.
Sarah Palin.
I can see Russia from my house. Thank you.
I thought Africa was a country. Give me a break.
Jeez. Okay.
Well, Nikki Haley also mentioned that a vote for Biden is really a vote for Kamala Harris, and I'm like, yes, it is. What are you doing?
And that would be bad because why?
Better than you.
Yeah.
Oh, can I say this? This is in the comments. This is great. Ian McGrath says Nikki Haley is a fart in a trance.
Oh boy,
that's a good one.
Oh, that's a good one. That is really good.
Really good. I'm going to remember that. I hope we don't get put in jail.
No, you won't. You won't. We're okay. All right. So, Mel, did you have another question?
Let me see here. That trans thing's hard to follow.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, that MAGA goes to war on Taylor Swift. There was an article about it, and it said because they're going to war on Taylor Swift, it could very well cost Trump the election. So, Taylor Swift did not take sides. She just said, vote, go vote.
Or register to vote.
To vote. I mean, taking political sides. But I want to tell you something. They stoked her engine. They really did, because she's going to come full force.
Oh, the right is melting down. If you watch any of the pundits on the right side, they are freaking out over her.
All she said is go vote.
Yeah, but she's a girl. In their mind, she'll always be a girl.
I can't believe that they are worried about her. But yes, she does have influence. She is definitely a Democrat. She definitely supported Biden, and she'll support him again. But
what freaked them out, Cleo, was the fact that one of her last concerts in the last couple of months, and she made a comment from the stage. She didn't say go vote blue or go vote for this one, that one, the other. She just said, there's a lot of you out here that are going to be 18 before the next election hits. You need to register to vote, and you need to find out what the facts are, and go register, go vote. They had over 30,000 new registrants like within the next 2 or 3 days.
Score!
That's when the right freaked out and started melting down like crazy. I was like, oh my God.
Oh, hilarious.
Numbers don't lie.
On Instagram, Taylor Swift has, brace yourselves. Now, what's the population of the United States? Isn't it 330 million? Okay.
Something like that.
Yeah. Taylor Swift has 279.4 million followers.
Yeah.
Wow.
What does that tell you?
That's why they're freaked out.
That's some power.
If
Yeah.
if somebody like that Judge Perot, what's her name? That Judge
Jean
Jean
Perot.
Janine Perot,
Perot,
Mhm.
she calls herself a judge. That's a joke.
the drunk. Yeah.
If she said go out and vote, or if there were a MAGA singer or something that said go vote, they wouldn't say a word.
Mm-mm.
But they're really trying to crucify her, and it's not going to work.
And did you see the videos of the really sad New Year's Eve party they had at Mar-a-Lago?
Yes.
No, I missed that.
I did too.
Vanilla,
What happened?
Vanilla Ice in
Yeah.
one of his old 1990s costumes,
Yes.
like without the cool stuff on his face and on his head, and just sad.
It was
Just
sad.
sad. It was so sad. And Trump doing this.
Like that. I mean,
Good invitation.
Oh my
I
God.
I studied. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, I'd be if I were going up against Taylor Swift, I would be like, yeah, okay, no, I give up.
Hey, don't F with the mouse and don't mess with the Swifties.
Yeah, I
They
mean,
will end you.
yeah. And it's not like this just started yesterday. I mean,
No.
Taylor Swift has been a force for how old is she? How old is she? I
She's
gotta
in her 30s. She's like
30,
early
30,
30s.
34.
and she started I guess like almost 20 years, because what didn't she have her first hit when she
yeah,
was
she was a young teenager.
really
Yeah.
young? Yeah.
Mhm.
So, so it's not like they're gonna just like damage her reputation. I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so.
Well,
That's-
the Swifties will come to the defense and
Oh, yeah.
they'll just even vote more for
yeah.
the left. Yeah.
Yeah. So on Orangina News, the New York Times put out an article that they think that Trump will be able to either get a bond or put up a portion of the money for the court to hold on E. Jean Carroll's whatever penalty. What do you call it? Is that disgorgement too? No, it's not disgorgement. It's just damages on the damages. So they think he might be able to do that. But then if Letitia James gets her thing that comes down, that might put a crimp in his ability to do that one. So there was another thing that I pulled up here about his monies, and this is really interesting. So Trump's PAC, here it is. So his PAC spent roughly $50 million on legal expenses in 2023. But if you read the article, it is so convoluted the way he uses this money. He's got like 3 different PACs going on, and he started to run out of money from Save America. Save America is the main PAC that he uses for paying his legal fees.
And
So,
who is this, Trump?
yep, Orangina.
Okay.
And so he has all this money for the, Save America PAC, which he got, by the way, right after the election. It just flooded in. And so, he sucked up all that, and then he didn't have much left. But he did have another PAC. Let's see, paid legal. Okay. The next one, it was called Make America Great Again PAC. And in the first half of 2023, Save America transferred $5.85 million to the Make America Great Again PAC. Try saying that 5 times fast. which spent almost all of that on legal and investigation related costs. So the roughly $50 million figure is a combination of such costs through both groups. Now there's a third group, and I won't bore you with getting on to all of the things, but then when he was running out of money, he started doing this thing where he would ask the PACs for a refund. He's asking the PACs for a refund of more money than we've even mentioned yet. I think the first refund he asked for was $60 million. So he's playing a shell game, even with his damn PACs that are paying for his legal fees. He's still doing the thing he was doing with Trump Org. It's just crazy. It's amazing.
Well,
And
the judge that they assigned to be over his accounts
yeah,
and everything in New York, who just like rang the
yeah,
bell and a bunch of illegal stuff
Mhm.
that he was trying to pull. So
right. And so that report that she put in, she had to file it in time so that the judge could read the report and consider it in order to determine the disgorgement that they want him to pay at the end of that. So his PACs are a mess. His PACs are really kind of running out of stuff. Now he's going to have to pay this other stuff for Letitia James. How do we think he's going to do this?
I think they're going to put a lien on all the properties that he supposedly owns, have him sell off some of those. I see a lot of the buildings with his name on, he doesn't really own. They just pay him to use his name.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if Trump Tower here in Chicago, I don't know who owns it, but I see the letters taken off Trump Tower. My joke is, I hope they take the T off first and just leave Rump up for a while.
And with Rump there, that would probably increase the market value.
Yeah, exactly. So the court is going to say he's got to put that money that he owes E. Jean Carroll aside until the appeals go through.
Mm-hmm.
And if he tries to divert money elsewhere, there'll be a paper trail. I see the IRS investigating him, for the whole thing in New York. And, the state of New York is going to say he's got to pay back a lot of this money, and it's going to be a lot of money.
So if he
says he has, but they're going to have to liquidate a lot of his assets because I see his empire crumbling.
But he can't appeal these cases like he wants to unless he puts the money up.
Right.
And so I think he'll be able to put up something for the E. Jean Carroll to appeal that. And that one really bugs him because he really hates her. But the disgorgement case, I don't think he's going to be able to put up anything for an appeal.
I don't know, but what I'm saying is he'll have to borrow on some of his property if his credit's any good, or sell some of it. But I see, if he says he doesn't have money, then they will put a lien on his properties, and I can see that happening.
Yeah, I could see that happening too. What about if he got his money from another source? What about if, say, somebody who's from a foreign country, let's say, just said, okay, Donald, I'll help you out. What can you do for me?
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about. Well, there will be a paper trail on that a mile long. And I think right now that the feds and everybody else is looking to see where he's getting his money. So that would be a sticky wicket. And, I think that would be illegal, actually.
It's not, actually. It's not illegal. No, I read an article about it. It's not illegal for that. All the other stuff he's doing is illegal. By the way, I thought that PACs were supposed to be for political support. So how in the hell is he okay? It's in the goddamn New York Times that he's doing this. How is it okay that he's using this for personal payments? Right? He should be slammed for that too.
Well, no, it's for his candidacy. He's using it.
No, but he's not. He's using it for legal fees. He's using it for lawyers.
Right, because he's a candidate. He's saying he's twisting the words up and making people think that you donated to me because and this is what I'm using it for, but I have to use it for that. It's part of my candidacy. Because he's saying that he's being politically persecuted or whatever the hell he's saying. Right. So
but
I wanted to say something about the E. Jean Carroll thing. Like when that thing came up for $83+ million, soon after, I don't know if it was a poll or who came up with this, but they were saying there's just hordes of women that used to be for Trump that are not for Trump since this thing came down. They're not for a rapist. Surprise. So hopefully that's going to hurt him more than just in the pocketbook.
Yeah. And just because Trump says this stuff really loud and proud that he's, he can do it, doesn't make it legal. He can say it all he wants, but as we've seen, when he goes to court, judges say, sit down, sunshine. That isn't the law.
Who is the woman there that the DOJ is looking into because they said she used campaign funds to pay her husband to be her head of security?
Cori Bush.
Cori Bush.
Cori
Oh,
Bush.
okay. But they're investigating her, but yet they let Trump use supposed campaign money to pay his legal fees.
Yeah.
I have a problem with that.
Yeah,
So.
the pot is calling the kettle black. I mean, this is just ridiculous. And it is the Republicans who are doing that, I believe, right? Who brought the charges against her?
Yep.
Well, no, but at some point, I think that Trump is also going to be looked into for, how he's spending his campaign funds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Stepping into poop. I agree with Mel on this one. It's going to get investigated at some point. There's so much going on right now, but yeah, they will look into it.
It's like there's got to be like 7 layers of priorities for these poor prosecutors because there's just, so that when that story came out about the White House being a drug den, I'm just like, you know what? Take a number, go to the back of the line. There's so much other shit that we have to look at. Like, we just don't have the bandwidth to even think about that right now. Wait till some other of these lawyers come out of law school. Let them prosecute.
Oh my God, there's so much.
Yes, it's a fire hose of stuff. It's like, oh my God. Wait till the guy dies and then we'll prosecute all of it.
I don't, there's so much that he's done. It would be like going to the public library and on a windy day with no fence and rainy and putting, all those papers and all those books in the middle of a big parking lot and a windstorm and saying, okay, pick out, where do you begin to organize them? That's what these prosecutors are dealing with. A lot of them don't know where to start because there's so much he's done.
Yeah. I just thought another one of his cases that, and I didn't even get this out of the New York Times, but they had a supposedly secret, although, Colleen Pearl knows about it in Pequannock, New Jersey, supposedly a secret meeting about the documents case in Florida. And Jack Smith is talking about, how do we manage this? How do we do all of this stuff? What do we think they said to Eileen Cannon? Is she close to leaving?
There has been a little activity. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Cleo. Go ahead.
I'm just saying that there's been a little activity with Cannon down there, and she did. I can't remember exactly what it was she did. She did something that could screw things up. Not in Trump's favor. So I hope she did. But, she's another one. She just delay. And she'll just stay on that same gravy train.
Mm-hmm.
I intuit that they told her that they heard some stuff and they know what she's up to. And, I don't think they'll pull a Trump thing to say, well, if you do this, we're going to do that. But I think they just let her know that they know what's going on. And I don't know if they kind of hinted that she should recuse herself, but I think, they let her know that there's some stuff that they have that really she should not have done. And we'll tell her about the overreach. And it looks like they'll be victorious because I pulled the 6 of Wands, which means victory. So I don't know. I've always seen her out that case, and I at some point see her resigning from the bench.
I've always gotten the same. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Oh, I was just saying, I always got the same as Mel, that she would eventually have to recuse herself, and it would be behind the scenes. She'd have a talking to, and she would just have to step down from the case. But this is what she's sort of, this cell just represents being tied up because she's being watched. And it's come to light and said to her, we're seeing this that you're doing, and this isn't right, and that isn't right. And so she is already feeling the pinch of being in the spotlight. So
yeah. I heard on Midas Touch earlier today, and they were talking about with down in Mar-a-Lago and all of that.
Yeah.
Evidently, it has now come to light that when the FBI went down there to search for all the missing stuff, that there was one room that had a brand new lock on a closet and no key to be found because the key was with the Orangeness, who had flown up north to New Jersey or wherever the hell he goes. And so they couldn't get the door open because they didn't have a key. Now, like, when has that ever stopped the FBI from wanting to see what's in a room, not having a key? I've seen videos of them practically taking a house down to nothing but its bare foundation because they think they're looking for something in the walls. And now, evidently, according to what they were saying on Midas Touch, was one of the people that worked there was told to put a new lock on this closet door, give Trump the only key, and destroy the other key so that there would only be one person that could get into that room. And the guy did what he was told. But now he's gone to the FBI or gone to Jack and said, look, when the FBI came down here, they just were like, oh, okay, no key. I guess we can't check that room.
So this was not just a regular closet, because otherwise they would have just kicked in the door.
You
Right?
would think.
No, but it had,
I don't know what kind of closet. I don't know where it was located.
well, it had to be some kind of reinforced door.
That's what I'm thinking. Something that was more
Otherwise,
heavy
they would
duty.
have just kicked it in. And it wasn't just like a padlock you could unlock with bolt cutters, because surely they came with those.
I've got a feeling that they probably talked to. When did they discover this? I'm sorry.
I don't know when this information came out. Midas Touch was talking about it this morning. Is the first time I've heard about it.
I wonder if they
were
brought that up
talking
to
about
Loose.
this new. Yeah.
I wonder if they brought that up to Loose Cannon when they were meeting her.
That could be.
That's what I picked up. And it would be interesting to see if that door's been tampered with, because when you were talking, I saw lots of documents hidden behind that door that shouldn't be there.
Yeah, I think there's still lots of documents in Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah.
I also got a hit as you guys were talking that when they were having this meeting, Jack isn't the appellate level. Jack isn't Aileen Cannon's boss. So he's a really frightening dude, because when he was talking about this stuff to her, he was saying, I'm sure your honor doesn't want it to look like you are interfering or delaying. And I'm sure you wouldn't want to, interfere with this case in such a way that it would, throw, shame on your reputation, or God forbid, even threaten your law license or take you off the bench. I'm sure all of his speech to her was really couched in terms of, I'm just positive you weren't doing this. And I bet she was scared to death because she was doing all of it. So
Jack Smith is quantum leaps ahead of her in his thinking. Arthur the psychic called it 4-level chess, and I said I disagree. It's multi-level dimensional.
Multi-dimensional chess. Yes, that is it.
Jack Smith is quantum leaps ahead of her, and I'm sure this was calculated on his part. He's really brilliant. He really is.
Right.
And he's a brilliant strategist. And so I think you're right. I had a vision of her like shaking in her boots.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was no bueno for her. I think it was really bad.
Right.
And as far as that door that could not be opened, I do know, I remember reading, or maybe I heard it on Midas Touch long ago, they were notified that they were coming down to Mar-a-Lago to search for these documents. It was not a surprise.
No,
was
and that's what
not
they were saying this morning, was that it was like the day or 2 days before
Mhm.
the FBI were scheduled to be there. This guy got, directions from Mr. Orange to put a new door, new lock, whatever, on this closet and bring Trump the only key. Whereupon he then got on a plane and flew
This is
away.
so stupid. And
So,
the FBI can't just pick the lock. I mean,
Well, I'm wondering, and maybe it had something to do with the way the warrant was written up.
That's what I was thinking.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you're right.
It wasn't one of the places they were allowed to go in and look, because they already knew where they were going, because there were people whistleblowing. And so, yeah.
But
Yeah.
also, Trump's lawyers, remember, had to sign that. Remember, that was one of the stupid things that I think it was Alina Habba had to. Was it Alina Habba? Had to sign that, yes, we gave you unfettered
Yeah.
access to all this stuff, and they didn't. So there goes that law license. That person.
It's going to be bad mouthing her now.
Yeah.
there's going to be a whole lot of lawyers that are going to be looking for a new career when this is all over and done with.
Yep. That's right.
My question is, who tells somebody 2 days before they're going to raid them that they're going to raid them? That makes no sense to me.
Well, if you're a former president and you already have CIA protection, that's what they do. They do extend courtesies to diplomats. He's a
It's like
diplomat.
letting the bank robber watch the bank. It's like,
Stop and visualize this for just a minute. There's Trump with his Secret Service, asleep, whatever, hanging in Mar-a-Lago, and in comes the FBI in full raid mode. Like bashing in doors and whatnot. Do you think we would not have seen one hell of a firefight? Because the CIA, the Secret Service wouldn't have known that it was the FBI that was raiding it if they weren't aware of it. And if they just showed up and surprised them, I'm sure they were trying to prevent there being an all-out shootout at the OK Corral between the Secret Service and the FBI.
well, I'm sure the Secret Service would have known, but I'm sure they would have leaked it to Trump as well. But I'm just simply saying that, it's kind of like letting the bank robber watch the bank, isn't it?
Well, they already went through this by raiding him in the past, and he made a big stink. You took my passport. You did this. You did that. You planted. Remember, he tried to imply that they planted stuff. So that's probably another reason why they didn't make it the normal kind of raid.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think that's right too. And I remember the whole thing about their attorneys working with them and taking the information and everything. But that the fact that they had that locked closet is really a middle finger to the Justice Department. It's like Abbott. It's the same thing. It's like, no, I'm not going to. No, you're going to come raid. You're going to take my stuff. No, not this stuff.
How ridiculous is it that he is still holding on to documents that he's not supposed to have, that we're still even talking about this?
Well, I think he hid them somewhere because he knew if they found them, because those were still classified as well, he'd be in really deep doo-doo. So, somebody in the comments said that, let me see here, just give me a second. Teresa Ford said, Fox called it a raid, but it wasn't a raid. And I agree with Teresa. Now I see it's really an execution of a warrant. They have a search.
Yeah,
that's all it was. And I just saw somebody in the chat mention it was behind this door. This room was in Trump's bedroom, and it was hidden behind a dresser. And I Googled it, and Newsweek says, yes, that was Trump's bedroom. They did not investigate a small door in one of the walls, which was concealed behind a dresser and by a television. The hidden room is said to have been mainly used by maintenance workers so they could access cables running through it. But
that might explain where some of the lost documents are.
Yes,
that's right.
Absolutely.
If they're there now, I doubt it. But
well, I thought they were hiding it in a coffin, but I guess that's a different group of.
That's the gold bricks to take.
I was just going to
Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi.
all
Gold
the passports and the gold bricks are in that coffin, so that when they take off for Abu Dhabi, it's a
It was
quick
so
pack.
heavy.
Yeah, it's ready to go. But I just so that people are not worried about our national security. I know the moment that the archivists, or what do they call that organization that keeps track of the documents?
National Archives.
Thank you, the National Archives. The moment they realized things were missing in general, I know that they looked for the most sensitive stuff. And I know that if there was any codes or anything like that, they changed as much as they could right away. I remember reading about that too.
Mhm.
So even if he did sell them to Vladimir Putin, when they sorry, I have allergies. If they if they let it go to Xi Jinping, they it would be moot because all the information would be changed, and so Trump maybe really thought he was doing something real sneaky with all of his secret closets and everything like that, but the information is probably worthless now.
Right. I mean, how many other? I mean, didn't Biden remove his Trump's security clearance? I mean, presidents don't do that to former presidents.
Mhm.
Yeah,
What does
yeah,
that tell you?
yeah, exactly. They were just
They
not.
stopped him from getting those reports on
Right.
what's going on. And that's
He didn't take
where
them
I
to
go back
begin
to Jimmy
with. He
Carter
wouldn't take
saying
them.
it will be revealed that Trump will be a non-viable president. He wasn't even supposed to be president. So, and more than that, he said. So I'm waiting for that to happen because, Jimmy Carter what is always in the know. Well, maybe not right now, but I believe what he said.
I do too, actually.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
it will be an illegitimate president.
Yeah.
And I wish I had a better beat on how long that's going to take because I want to start a countdown.
I think within 2 to 3 years, actually.
Okay, I'm going to start 36 months from today, and
Yeah.
that's going to be my countdown clock. And I don't even care actually if that's right. I just want to hope, like I want to be able to look forward to something.
Physically look at a clock, counting it
Yeah,
down. We're almost
yeah.
there.
So I have three things that are just really positive for Joe Biden, and I just thought I'd throw them out there. We can discuss them. I don't really have any questions for them. Maybe you guys can think of some questions, but this is I put in the category of why the hell can't they get it right on Biden? And one is that the strong economic data the Biden team really hopes will restore voters' confidence in them as a team, as an administration. And I think it will. I mean, they just added 353,000 new jobs. My God, that's incredible. That's just incredible. So, Biden's just doing a really great job. And as the economy looks brighter and it appears that it's going to keep going, people should be very happy with that. They should be very appreciative of that. And I think the Biden administration or the Biden campaign is getting much more aggressive, assertive in saying, yeah, we did all this stuff. It was great. And actually, I just heard Biden on I don't know if this was a press conference or I don't think it was an ad, but he actually called Trump a loser.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
He did. I saw that.
He's starting to come out swinging now.
Yeah.
That's Trump's favorite word to use since he used it against him, which is perfect.
Loser.
Yeah.
And away from the mics and away from the public, Biden talks a lot more colorful than you'd ever expect. And I just read an article that he used the F-bomb quite a bit.
Oh, good. Yay. I like it more.
Yeah.
If y'all think back to a certain darker gentleman who was in his first administration, and they passed the Obamacare, and what got caught on a hot mic was Biden telling Obama, "This is a big effing deal," but he said the word, and it was like national television. It's like,
Yeah, I remember that, and it was a big
It
effort.
was.
it was. I mean, everybody was laughing about it, but I know there was a lot of people were all upset because he used
But if
that kind of
Biden
language.
accidentally
Like, I
dropped
bet
the
he used a
F-bomb
little
in the
bit.
future, right? If he accidentally drop the F-bomb in the future, all the MAGAs, oh my God, how could you do that? But yet they're the first ones. Trump is the first one to drop the F-bomb. So I do think that you're right. That I see Biden and the Dems becoming a lot more vocal about their accomplishments and taking the offensive a lot more. And that's what they really need to do. I mean, Biden has accomplished more than any president since 1963.
I
And,
know.
LBJ accomplished a lot, but Biden has done a lot. And I really think the Dems are going to start taking credit for all of that. And they need to. They need to really get on the offensive.
And
Well, we've got a whole new crop of a lot of much younger and smarter Democrats that are, in state houses or representatives or whatnot that are just getting their feet wet with getting into politics. And they're not pulling any punches, and they're not taking any crap. They're flat out in the middle of a committee hearing. They will call someone out right then and there. Say, oh, no, what you said was, and they'll pull out a piece of paper and start reading it off. Is like, let's get the record straight here. So I think the Dems that are been to the ballpark for too long are starting to pay attention and say, oh, wait a minute, people actually like it when we fight back and call them out and say you're lying to their face.
I think a lot of that holding back, I think a lot of that is, and I love her. I don't want to denigrate anything that she does. And I love him too, but Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, they're very politic. They just embody the word politic. They say what is, palatable for the public, and they don't want to ruffle feathers, and they don't want to make waves. They just want to go about their business. And they're both very effective legislators, not to take anything away from them. They're both very, very highly skilled at their jobs and well respected. But I do think that their general style is just too
milk toast.
Exactly. You took the word right out of my mind. That's what I was thinking. Yes, that's exactly right. And I think that when the day comes, and I think it's going to come pretty soon, where Uncle Joe does drop the F-bomb, as long as he has those aviators on, I think everybody will appreciate it. I think they will like it a lot if he just looks cool. Okay, let's end this on a kind of a interesting question. This is one that is not political, but I pulled it out of the New York Times anyway. The headline said, "Could a giant parasol in outer space help solve the climate crisis?" So here we go. Now, this used to be a fringe idea, but this is what the New York Times says. With Earth at its hottest point in recorded history and humans doing far from enough to stop its overheating, a small but growing number of astronomers and physicists are proposing a potential fix that could have leaped from the pages of science fiction, the equivalent of a giant beach umbrella floating in outer space. The idea is to create a huge sunshade and send it to a faraway point between the Earth and the sun to block a small but crucial amount of solar radiation, enough to counter global warming. Scientists have calculated that if just shy of 2% of the sun's radiation is blocked, that would be enough to cool the planet by 1.5 degrees Celsius or 2.7 degrees Fahrenheit and keep the Earth within manageable climate boundaries. So, what do we think?
I'm a science geek, and I don't think this is conspiracy theory or anything like that. I think this is really true science, and it makes sense. If you can drop the temperature by 1 degree or 1 point something degrees, it would halt this runaway climate change. I mean, in Chicago, it's been the warmest winter I can remember. It was like 50 degrees the other day. That's unheard of in January in Chicago.
Yeah.
So I say yes, it can be done, and I don't think it's going to be a problem getting the big parasol or umbrella in space and getting it deployed. So my feeling is it would absolutely work.
I think so too. 2023 was the hottest year of our planet ever, on record. on
Well,
record.
this is going to be hotter.
And this
2024 is
one's, yep,
supposed to be hotter.
it's
So
supposed to be hotter. So as long as we keep Jim Comer away from this project, I think we'll be okay.
Well, you know, I got that we are sitting in a hot springs, and we're going to have the resurrection of the planet, of us, if we do something like this.
Great.
That it could definitely assist us to regenerate everything back to the way it was.
Excellent.
You
Excellent.
know, and I feel like this is just kind of one idea that's come up that
Yeah.
could possibly work, but I think it will inspire other people to look into other different ways and then collectively get together and say which is the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see something like that happening.
Yeah.
I see in the comments, Blue says, so we won't stop factories from dumping crap into the air, but we will put a giant umbrella in space. And I agree with that.
Yeah, good
But
point.
for right now, they have to do something to stop this runaway climate change. So the
Beats the hell
umbrella,
out of hangings.
I'm sorry.
Said it beats the hell out of hangings.
There you go.
That's
So
true.
I think the umbrella might bring the Earth's temperature down a little bit,
Mhm.
and then they can focus on stop putting the crap in the atmosphere they're putting.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
We
because
need to go for the big things first.
yeah, but and I said it as a joke about Jim Comer, but that Republican, stopping everything, that is the reason we can't stop them from dumping. Trump removed all the EPA
Yes.
regulations. So we literally made it okay and not illegal to completely mess up our environment. So now we're going to have to take the next 5 to 10 years redoing all those laws and bringing them all back again. Oh, there was one other really uplifting thing that I wanted to read that I said was kind of a demonstration of Pluto in Aquarius. Here we go. So this, ladies and gentlemen, I've been banging on about Pluto and Aquarius forever, and I'm sure you guys you're being very polite looking straight at the cameras, but really you all want to be going, oh my God, this again? Yes, this again. This is so great. This is showing us that we did feel the shift of Pluto going into Aquarius and that conjunction with the sun on January 20th, and all the activity that's been happening since the full moon and up to Uranus going direct. This is the result. Over 800 officials in the US and Europe sign a letter protesting Israel policies. So this is not just world leaders, but regular people who are officials in governments saying, we don't like this, and we're saying stop it. And they released this public letter of dissent on Friday against their governments, each of their governments' support of Israel in its war in Gaza. And that's what I think everybody really wants. And nobody wants this stuff. We just give them a a two-state solution and stop the fighting. What's the deal? Again, it's political. It's so, so, so political, and it doesn't need to be. So that's the kind of thing that we have to look forward to, that all over the planet, I think people will begin to come together in realistic, practical ways to bring about, well, first of all, to let their voices be heard, that, we just want humanitarian stuff. We just want it to be fair and great for everybody. And, but they'll do it in a very strong and organized way. That's the Pluto in Aquarius. Look at that, 800 of them globally, not just one country. Oh, it was so, when I read that, I was like, oh yes, this is so important. This is just, okay, somebody else talk. I don't know.
I just want to touch on something before we sign off. Sherry, you brought up that we're almost near Mardi Gras, which means
we're in Mardi Gras season.
So somebody asked me last year, what are you giving up for Lent? And I said, riding in submarines and eating watermelon. And I said, I don't give up anything for Lent. I try to do something good for people each day during Lent. And she said, but you got to cleanse yourself. I said, from what? So my thing is, during this Lenten season and every day, just do something nice for somebody. It could be a smile. It could be just
be kind,
calling somebody to see how they're doing. And you know what, Colleen, I like what you said about, people of the world speaking up about injustice and things like that. Yeah. So I had this idea. Well, actually, I was at Starbucks one morning, and the guy in front of me paid. This was 3 or 4 years ago. So I thought during Lent, when I go to Starbucks in the drive up through line, I'm going to pay for the car behind me, just for no other reason that it's Lent and I wanted to do something nice. I think God wants us to do nice things for everybody.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I do it when I go through there, not every morning, but about 4 times a week. And day before yesterday, I did it. When I went back this morning, the kid working at the, where they handed the food through the window said, "Oh my God, it went down 20 cars the other day." And the guy got mad because there wasn't a car behind him and he couldn't pay it forward. So that little act of just doing something nice catches on.
It's like an explosion of light going out with all these people receiving all that beautiful blessings.
Right. You might not even know how many cars it went back or the domino effect.
And doesn't your heart just open up? You feel that beautiful energy of getting a gift and an unexpected gift.
Did that make to that young man and the other people that were working at Starbucks?
It's happened to me in the Starbucks. So I know what it feels like. And I have to tell you, it's just an amazing feeling.
So pay it forward some way. It's up to us. And I think our voices can be heard. We can speak up against injustice. People of the world are speaking out against, people being senselessly killed. And we should speak up against injustice intolerance and murder. We should. And so, during this Lenten season, let our anger push us forward, but let's do something nice for somebody. If you don't have money to pay it forward at Starbucks, help somebody across the street, just give them a smile. It doesn't hurt anything.
I've always used the excuse of the analogy that I heard, be nice to the checker that's learning their job and everybody's bitching. And the thing of it is that actually happened to me a couple of weeks ago at Walmart. It was a young man. He was standing there. His supervisor was right there talking him through. And and the line was still moving at a pretty good clip, but people were starting to moan and groan every time he had to stop, look something up and whatnot. And it hit me. It was like, oh my God, this is the example I always use. And now I'm being faced with using it. And I made a big deal about, wow, you're doing such a great job. And I know how hard it is to learn how to do this job. I've done this before. And, and all this. And I literally watched every person behind me change their attitude that fast. And as each person was going through the line after I was walking away, I kind of lollygagged a little bit just to see what would happen. And I kept hearing one person after another tell, oh, what a good job he was doing. And he was such a friendly young man and how pleasant it was, to come into Walmart and have somebody be nice like that. I was like, it really works.
Well, really, every act of kindness, is contagious. And what you're just saying proves it.
Yeah, it really is.
So, we can open our mouths and be vocal about the injustices and about, how, how it seems like that hatred and bigotry and prejudice and all that are growing. But I think if we continue to do acts of kindness, inclusive acts of kindness, doesn't have to be huge. It starts here. And other people catch on. And it helps to raise the vibration of the planet and helps to rewire people to try to be nice to each other.
Yeah.
Well, it helps your own personal vibration.
Absolutely.
By doing it, it's a great thing to do. That's why I say it's contagious. I love it.
It is contagious.
And you guys are all beautiful way showers, raising the vibration everywhere you go. That's just amazing. I feel honored to be with all of you tonight. Thank you. Thank you so much for playing with me at PoliTarology. Does anybody else have anything to say in closing? Because we've been on about an hour and a half, and I think that's about all my chat people can tolerate.
In some of our bladders as well.
Yeah, there you go. That too. Well, thank you to everybody in the chat. And again, I apologize to them in the chat that I'm not very good at pulling out their questions, but I was hoping that some of their questions would dovetail with ours. And we had some interesting questions and some interesting predictions. It was really fun. So take care, everybody in the chat. Thank you to all my honored guests. Thank you so much for being with me. And we'll see you next time on PoliTarology.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
It's already here. Okay, here we go.